All right, so I'm so excited that you guys joined us for the marketing bonus. And a lot of times people have ideas about marketing and they think it's slimy, they think it's, I don't know, they've just got some hangups around marketing, a lot of mindsets. I was talking to Dr. Amanda a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about what we're noticing as far as like what's the mindsets that we have to break off during the publishing process. And there are different mindsets around the marketing that we have to push through. So she's going to be working on with our authors on both sides now because we're really finding that they're similar sometimes, but they're different on what you're breaking through for marketing. So I always like to say marketing is not so much selling to someone as you're sharing with somebody. You're sharing your stories, your life, and your products to help them. And if you come from that aspect of, hey, I'm not just buy my book, then I'm really truly here to help you and to, you know, give you something that's of value. And if I believe it's valuable, then I'm not just going to give it away all the time, that it's valuable. And knowing that value, and people pick up on that as well. So, one of the things I want you to think about in regards to the mindsets is, do any of these resonate with you? Something that you feel like fear of being known, fear of being seen. Maybe you don't want to sound stupid or foolish, or I have to understand it all before I step out. So that to me is that mindset of I've got to get it right. I know that Amanda's working with that in my own life where it's like I got to get it right. If I just line up all the ducks in a row, then I just have to get it right and it'll all work out. So those are some things to think about in regards to the mindsets around marketing. And so it's going to be not just learning the skills, but breaking off the mindset simultaneously. And that's what we try to do with publishing. And now we're going to go into the marketing piece and do that on both sides as well. So a lot of times in the group, I'll talk about a lead gen. That's the lingo in the marketing world for lead generation. It's exactly what it is. You're getting a lead and you're bringing a lead to you. You're bringing somebody towards you. It's a way to get your readers more involved in your world. And your goal is to get them out of the Amazon ecosystem and into your ecosystem. So the Amazon keeps all the data. So whoever buys your books, Amazon will keep that data. And so you want to try to get an email address or information on whoever does buy your books. So in your books, we have 3 different back matter options now for the book. One is any other books that you've got that they can buy. Another one is give me a review on Amazon. And the third one is, or 4 actually, come speak. And another one that we're going to talk about right now is lead gen. Like, hey, would you like coloring pages, or would you like something that goes along with my book that somebody would be willing to give you an email address for? And so that's,
I'm sorry, Sherry, what did you call
yeah,
that last one?
a lead gen. It's this right here.
Oh, no. Okay, so that's the Legion. Okay, I'm sorry. Yep, got it.
No, ask questions. This isn't me just lecturing. So ask away. Um, So you have to get creative. The children's books are pretty easy. There's some easy ways to do that, but get creative on what you can give away for free that's of value to somebody that they would give you the email addresses. Like back in the day, it was super easy to get email addresses, but now people are more reluctant to do that because they don't want to get spammed.
Yeah.
So it needs to be something of value and something that is not just fluff. Like when they get it, it's not like, oh, that was a waste, and then they unsubscribe right away. It needs to be something of value for them and something they really like. So that's your number one goal. So your goal is to get email addresses and build them in your list. At the end of this, I'll give you guys a link in the chat. If you do not have an email provider, I've got one that's free that you could start with. And I'll give you a link in the chat before we leave today. So once you collect the emails, it's like, what do I do with them? So Irene, yours is good right now because you're starting that YouTube show. So what you could do is you could, whenever you go live with another episode of your stories with Oma, you could say, hey, do you like such and such a book? Hey, check out our latest episodes of Stories with Oma that you could watch with your kids or something like that. And so yours, that could be part of your, what we call nurture. So once I have your email, people like don't always nurture their list. And what I mean by that is how many of you have seen my emails that come out once a week?
Mhm.
Have you seen my story-based emails? They're kind of
Yeah.
like blogs that I tell you a story and then I encourage you. That's how I'm nurturing my list. And I've got about 7,000 on my list. So like the one that went out today went out to 7,000 people. And so that's a way for me to keep in contact. And I try not to make it bye, 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 bye. It's more like I'll tell them a story that helps them, that encourages them as an author, because that's the biggest thing a lot of the authors need is just encouragement to keep going. And then a lot of times in the PS, if you notice the PS, we'll say, hey, by the way, we're running this brand new whatever we're doing. And it's kind of like a side note a lot of times. Today's was more prevalent because it's the first time we've ever launched a tech workshop to set up your manuscript. So today's email, if you got it, was more prominent, but a lot of times it's just the story, it's just encouragement. I'm nurturing the list. So you could think of some ways that you can nurture the list. For example, Marlena has a book on Anna cleans her room. Her lead gen is, hey, sign up here and I'll give you a checklist for your kid on how they can clean their room. And then her emails that go out could be something like, here's a small quick tip of the week for helping your kids clean their room. That could be like how she nurtures them and keeps them going. So I guess the biggest thing would be getting the email address, but then not forgetting about them. That was the mistake I made a long time ago is, I'd collect all the emails, but then I wasn't really nurturing. So you have to do both sides of it, but think about, I guess the biggest thing is think about what would you want that you wouldn't feel spammed, something that you would want to look forward to in your inbox every day. So if you go to the lady, the gal I just got off the phone with, her name is Kathy Taylor. I've known her since 2013. She had a daily word of encouragement for hurting moms that were hurting over teenage kids or college age kids that were going off the rails. So every day, and she made 200 of them and she automated it. Every day they would get a little like baby devotional on encouraging them. So that was the way that she interacts with them, and she gets 30 or 40 signups a week now, of moms just getting on that list. You want them to consume the content, so it needs to be stuff that they really enjoy reading. They look forward to opening your emails. I've had people go, oh my gosh, I'm not even with your publishing company, but I like reading your stories. So I open them up all the time, stuff like that. So you want to make sure it's something that they want to open. You want to collect the email addresses, build to your list, but you must nurture your list after you get them. Okay. And then get hired to speak. So that's another thing that you could do as well. In the back of the book, you could say, hey, I could come speak to your school. I could come speak wherever. And then at Square Tree, we offer a speakers page. So you can have that page and how they can reach you, how they can get a hold of you to come and speak. And Irene, yours would be perfect with your YouTube because they're seeing you. I mean, it's not like a speech per se, but they're hearing you read the books, they're hearing your intonations, they're hearing your voice. So it would be like a little mini audition in a way that you can lead them to your best YouTube video that you like to, if somebody says, hey, we want to see what you look like on stage and you haven't done stages yet, but hey, I could come read and this is what I sound like when I read to the kids. So that would be a good idea as well. You could offer ways to hear you besides the book, a podcast or meeting you've done. So again, Irene, you've got the YouTube video. So if you guys do any kind of podcast or you have a friend that you can interview and throw up, even on social would be like a backdoor way to do it. You know, have one of your friends interview you about the book or something, and then you have some video that you can show. And then also, like we said in the back of the book, it's like coming soon, a coming soon page of like, or these are the other books I've already written. And then that way you'll get more people in. So where to put the lead gen? Or let me stop there. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, your guys' books are going to be shorter because you're children's books. So for you, you'll probably put the lead gen in the back of the book or possibly front and back if you have a couple different ones. It used to be the Amazon, you put them in, I've heard of people that will put their lead gen in, say it's like, hey, get a free audio book, and they put it in the front of their book, and people didn't even buy it on Amazon and went straight to the free link. So they got their email address. And for them, that email address is more important than them even buying the book. Because now they knew that client and they could nurture them into other things that they had offered. Amazon's gotten more savvy to that trick, I guess. And so it used to be on ebooks, you could still see that. You know, on Amazon where it says the first look, you know how it gives you a sample of the book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they now block that out. So if you have a lead gen in the front, they got smart to that and they blocked it out on the regular books. But on the ebook side, they still show it. I don't know why. Last I checked anyway, they could have changed by now, but so you can put your lead gens for you guys being children's books, I would either put them in the front or the back or both, depending on what you're giving. You just definitely want to have people see what you're offering. Yeah, Kelly.
Tell me again. So there were three possible options on that. That was review on Amazon, come speak, and what was the other one?
Come and speak, and here's my free giveaway.
Here's my free giveaway. That's what I was asking before.
And
Thank you.
I should have wrote them down here. And the fourth is, hey, I've got more books, or follow me here on social.
Got it.
Like a bio page, you could say follow me.
Got it.
And then another one would be, so there's actually 5 that you could do. I'm just gonna write them here so that when you guys have them. Okay, I'm gonna put back of the book.
Okay.
That way, when you guys open it, because you've got a Google Docs, so this will go through. Back of the book. Okay, these are your options. Your bio with links to find you on social and website. Okay. Another one is a speaker's page. And we have templates for this, for the speaker's page. Speaker's page, coming soon, or other books by this author. Your lead gen page of what you're giving away for free. And I think I said there was a 5th one. Speaker,
Yeah, you did.
what?
Yeah, you did. Amazon.
Amazon review page.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want you just say it in a nice way. Hey, it really helps as an author if you go review. And the
Follow
trick
me
on
on
that,
social too.
on the socials I'm gonna put with the bio.
Oh,
The
I see.
trick,
Yes.
the trick on Amazon is you have to say, give me an honest review. You can't say, give me a 5-star review. You have to say, give me an honest review. And you're not
Okay.
allowed to offer any incentives or any prizes or any giveaways, or you can't incentivize it at all. So those are some of your options on the back. You can do 1, 2, you can do all of them. It's up to you.
Okay.
I would definitely, a lot of times the bio and the links for social can be on the back of the book. For children's books, a lot of times the bios are a little different and they'll put them inside the book. So
Yeah.
that's a preference, but I've seen a lot of the bios in the kids' books inside, but the
Mhm.
regular books have them on the outside usually.
Okay.
All right, so nonfiction book, are any of you guys writing nonfiction books as well or only children's?
Um,
I'm writing a memoir.
Okay, you're writing a memoir. Okay,
Mm.
Kelly?
Just,
and I'm sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
just a children's book.
Okay,
Yep. And I have a lot of poetry.
and poetry. Okay. Then I'll cover the nonfiction
Yes.
books for you guys as well. So some of the ways that you can do lead gens for the nonfiction books would be to give away a free ebook. One of our authors, I'll give you an idea of what he did. I'm gonna go to our bookstore. He's in our bookstore. So right here. So Jonathan Clark. This is his regular book. It's called Holy and Holistic Health. He's also got I'm trying to think, where's his website? Then he's probably gone on his website. Let me see. He's a Western medical doctor. He's one of our authors, but he's also into holistic medicine as well. All right, so on his, I'll show you both the covers that they kind of go together a little bit, but they are different. Okay, so here's his website. Here's the book. But then he also should have on here, see right here, he's saying leave me a review, read more. So he's got all that information on there. And then he should have, that's our interview. He should have, this is right here. This right here, it says grab your free ebook Waiting to Eat. And it's on intermittent fasting. So he basically did his own blood work on himself. And he talked about intermittent fasting and with data, you know, because he did the data on himself. So this is his free giveaway. And then he's got the other book for sale. So this is generating him leads to put it on his email list.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back. Where were we now? Here we go. Okay, so that's the free ebook that you could do. And then you can offer a study guide. So say that you're doing a book and you want to put a study guide with it, you can do that. You could put a template. A good example is there's a book called Story Brand. It talks about marketing. And then he'll be like, okay, and you could do this, this, and this. And if you want to get the template for it, click here. And then it'll give you a URL to go there and sign up for the template. Email you, you're going to have your readers email you the responses. So there's another book that I read that he's like, hey, I want to know if this XYZ program is working for you. And he actually gives his email address and says, hey, email me and I want to hear from you. So that's another way to engage your readers as well.
Okay.
And a resource guide. So that's my favorite. I love study guides and resource guides because I have a teaching background. So I'm writing a brand new book right now called Launching You. And at the end of each chapter, it has questions. And then also at the very, very end, it's going to have a resource guide for all things that people could dive into later. So that's another way because some of those resources people will have to sign up for. All right, so. All right. For a nonfiction memoir, you can do maybe a tip sheet, get tips as a survivor, some of the things that really helped you. Maybe you could, I know I don't have it with me. One of my favorite things was when both of my boys, when they were younger, were in the hospital. I typed up all the healing scriptures, and I would just pray those over them. So,
Mhm.
like giving away, scriptures or something, that would be good as well. There is a rule on scriptures for copyright. I think it's no more than your book can be no more than 20 or 30% of the scriptures. So
Hmm.
you can look up the copyrights on that as well. So I don't know that you could have a full sheet with just only scriptures. You'd have to incorporate other things in there or just put the verse and then they can look it up. But if you write it out, you have to be careful on that.
Hmm.
Media interviews. So you could put the logos of the medias if you've been on any of the TV shows and you put those on there. A GoFundMe campaign. So Anthony Brown was homeless for 20 years and then he became a college professor. And recently he just got his nurse practitioner's license. So he is helping other homeless people in Ohio, and he bought a dilapidated mansion in Ohio that he's fixing up for the homeless in Ohio as like a rehab center. So he created a GoFundMe campaign. I think he got $5,000 or $6,000 in that to help build the roof of the place. I don't know if he's gotten any more money since then, but that's another way that you could do it. Support groups. So maybe you want to talk about any kind of support groups like domestic violence, AA, Me Too, or any other support group as well on that. So the other one, fiction, I'm going to skip. Quizzes, even though this is under fiction, you could always do quizzes as well. Like Angela has a book about King Arthur, so she had these little quizzes. So Irene, I know yours has animals in it. So like maybe you could do, I know Raquel's is about sheep. So one of the things I suggested with her is to look up some fun facts about sheep. So, they could sign up to get this fun fact that as a mom or as a parent, I could read to my kid after I read her book is like, hey, let's learn about some fun facts about sheep.
Mhm.
For the children's books, again, it's the fun fact sheet. So I don't know if you guys, Kelly, what's your book about? I know Melody said it was you and Sherry. You both had really good books.
Thank you. It's on self-regulation, so it's a little Chihuahua, that puppy that makes all kinds of messes and then learns how
Oh,
to
how
self-regulate.
cute. So yours could be a fun fact sheet about Chihuahuas. That would be really, no, seriously, that would be like
Yeah.
a fun
Yeah.
fact,
Yep.
Um,
Or raising a puppy.
or raising a puppy. Because how many of the kids raise puppy, you know what I mean? Like they buy little puppies. So yeah, that would be cool. That would be a fun one. And then Sherry, what's your book about?
Mine is a poem, and it's about a sheep that learns to dance and what it means to be accepted and doing what God wants you to be doing.
Okay, so again, a fun fact sheet on sheeps. I don't think Raquel ever did it. I suggested that to her, but I don't think she ever did it. But little fun fact sheet about sheeps, because there's some really cool things I learned at the country fair that I never knew about sheeps. And the
Yeah.
shearing and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So downloadable coloring sheets is super easy to do. We can put it as part of your package. Where the illustrator could take some of your pages and make them into coloring sheets. I think Irene, you did that, didn't you? For one of
Yes, I
your,
did.
yeah, okay.
Yes, I
So
did.
Irene's, one of her lead gens is the coloring sheets. Templates or checklists, like I talked about Marlena's book, cleaning their rooms. Kelly, for yours, it could be like some kind of list for the parent on regulating. Because I always like companion pieces for the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one signing up for it, right? I'm the one as a parent giving my email address, not the kid.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
anything that
that's
makes my life easier with the kid or anything that would
Mhm.
educate me with the kid on helping to regulate them
Mhm.
may be fun. Um, Sherry, again, it could be revolved around sheeps, it could be and just tying it into your story somehow with a template or a checklist.
Okay, Sherry, I have a question now. The fun fact sheet, like the downloadable coloring sheet that's on the website now, the fun fact sheet. For these less, for me, I'm the one that's not very computer savvy. Would I be able to get someone to show me
Yeah.
how to do
We
that?
could have our team do it. So what you would do is you would say, hey, here's my Word doc. This is what I want to do. I want you guys to go see it up and do all the tech piece to set it up. So there's two
Okay.
parts to it's 3 parts. It's the writing, it's gussing it up with a graphics team, and then tying it in technology wise to make sure on your website that they could sign up for it. And then we can also put it in the book as well.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Very good.
Absolutely. Kelly?
Y'all help set up websites?
Yes. Yeah.
So if we already have a website that's existing, can you go in and update and add things
Do you
and
know if
things and all that?
do you know if it's a WordPress or is it like Wix?
Nope. Nope. My daughter set it up for me, but she's done being involved. She's
That's okay.
got-
So
Yeah.
if it's something like Wix or something similar to that, I don't really like those kinds of websites because
I think she put it on Squarespace.
or Squarespace because it's not a direct domain name. For example, if I have squaretreepublishing.com, that's direct, that I own it, that's where you're going. If you're under Wix, it could be something like wix.com/Square Tree Publishing. And because I'm not getting too technical on you, but because it's a subdomain, it means it's under Wix and I'm underneath them.
Yep.
People try to Google and find you, which is they call it SEO. When they Google to try to find you, it's harder to find you. So we build all the websites on WordPress for that very reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to do a few things. It's not that hard. And I'm going to be having more time. So, and they are so helpful. They are so helpful. So that's my little 2 bits. But
Yeah,
I
so
think
we set it up and then if you guys want to add your stuff to it, you can as you grow, or you can have our team. So we make it pretty easy for if you want us to do it or you want to DIY it, we make it on both sides.
Okay.
And then we give you a little training video, I think, as well.
yes.
So we could make our own, we could do our own WordPress and still be part of the Square Tree?
If you do your own WordPress, then I think what Sherry was asking, because she already had an existing website, if we could tie the
But
text.
it's not, but it wasn't WordPress, so I was just wondering if it. if
Yeah,
it's a
I probably
WordPress one.
wouldn't do that then. We probably wouldn't tie the tech in if it's not a WordPress site.
But if it is a WordPress site,
Then we'll probably be able to tie the tech in.
Okay. I'll have to check on that.
Okay, yeah. All right, so you can also do some topical guide sheets. For example, I know that a couple people lately, I think Steve's one of them, he's coming with a book about mental health. So you could tie in some guide sheets to the parents about that. For example, Joy did a book about grief, and it was about her dog Buddy who lost its owner. So what I had suggested to her was doing like a sheet for kids that are grieving and some of the things to help them with that. Now, grieving doesn't have to be like they lost their brother or sister. You know, I have dealt with that with another client. We have a support group called Grieving Moms. That's not,
Mm,
it doesn't have to go that deep and heavy revy. It can
Uh-huh.
be more like, hey, my best friend just moved to another city. how that kind of a grief thing for the kids. So, you know, depending if it has any kind of mental health element, you can tie that in with some topical guide sheets for the parents. And the next one is songs to go with the children's books. So you can even make up a song, you could put it on YouTube, that sort of thing. And Irene, you're already like reading the books, so you could tie in with that as well. So make sure you read your own book, Irene, though.
Make sure I read my what?
Your own book on your
Oh, I
YouTube.
will.
Okay,
I
I want to make
am.
sure.
Oh, I definitely am.
I
And
wanna make
but I
sure.
want to read everyone else's as well.
Yeah.
With my second book that's coming out now, my husband and I, we've already wrote the songs for it.
Oh, you have? Oh,
No,
that's
it's fun.
cool.
Ted just wouldn't get out of bed. That Ted just wouldn't get out of bed.
See,
So
you know
that's
what?
while
Those catch on. I can't tell you that one shark one. What was the shark one that the little kids loved? I mean, I
Ah.
got a grandbaby and
Baby shark, boop,
shark,
boop.
shark,
boop,
shark,
boop.
shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, mama's shark, shark, shark. I was like, oh my
Yeah, yeah.
gosh, like those things like totally catch on. So and
Kids
it's
loved
got
them.
they do.
millions of views. So yeah, if you guys, I mean, Sherry, poetry comes right in with songs because poetry
Sure.
is
Yeah.
poetry to music, you know?
Yeah.
So if you've got that knack, I say you never know what's going to catch on. And sometimes it's the silliest, goofiest things that catch on.
Oh, they do.
Narration of the books, which again, Irene, that's what you're doing. So that is, so those are some ideas for you. I don't want to get too complicated because marketing is a beast. It's so big and it's so many things you can do. So the very first thing, you need to come up with some idea of what you want to do as your lead gen. I will give you the link to sign up for a company that's free. I think it's the first 500 people that are on your list, it's free, and then they charge after that. So, and then the biggest thing after that is just send out a weekly or every couple weeks an email to the list. Let them know you're live and encourage them somehow, some way. And that's called nurturing. So that's the biggest thing that I can say to get you guys going on the marketing right away. So let me drop, I'm going to drop a couple links to you guys. Let me see what else I have here. We have a course called, oh, here, it's right here. We have a course called Author Marketing Made Easy. I would say this course is a lot for regular books. It would be good for children's as well. It's probably more heavily regular books. In the chat, AWeber is, it's the company for the emails and it's free. And so
Okay.
the instructions on how to set all that up is here.
I can even do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As a
The other
dear,
thing that we have since I put this document together is in the Christian Author Shop, we're trying to develop things that this is tools and templates for authors, and we were really noticing people are having a hard time setting everything up. So in here, there is an email course. It's not a course, it's a workshop. So it's super right here. So this, it's $27. So this can help you once you get a Weber. People are like, no, I don't know how to set it up. So I'm going to drop it here and I'll drop it in the document itself as a resource. But this is how to send your first email, you know, how to do all the tech piece of it. So it's step by step by step by step so that you have it. Because sometimes if you just do it one time, you don't remember how to do it again. So you can go back to this as much as you want and step by step do that. So I'll put this in here as well. I'll put it more towards the top. It is, we call it Email Essentials for Aweber.
Sherry, does that also allow you to write your emails in advance and have them sent out
Yes,
at a certain time?
yeah, yep,
Okay.
you can schedule them out.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, we just noticed, we try to develop things that we know people are struggling with and need help with, so.
I really appreciate this small amount of information, kind of concise and gathered together all at one spot, so to speak. It's very helpful.
Oh, good, because I don't, there's too much to marketing, there's a lot, and a lot of it is throwing spaghetti on a wall, and I'm really tired of that. So we are really trying to figure out what's the biggest levers that's
Mhm.
gonna move the needle the most, and so that's what we're working on this year. I'm actually gonna hire a formal company to do there's the big 5 publishing houses, so I'm gonna hire somebody that's gonna do a launch that's like a big 5 level launch with my next book, so that I know
Mhm.
what worked and what didn't, and so I can revamp it for the authors in our community.
Oh, gosh.
Because I really wanna too many times it's do this, it's do that, it's do everything, and it's, not everything is equal in what it gives you for for the return.
Mhm.
So for example, I will tell you, I've learned this the hard way. It took me years to learn this. If you if you go to an event and you take your books, it's okay, but you're schlepping boxes. And unless you're speaking at the event or you get 5 minutes on stage, even if it's 5 minutes to say where your booth is, there's something magical about being on the stage with a mic.
Yeah.
And people will come to the back and buy your book. If you're just at an event selling books, it's a harder sludge to sell the books. And that took me years to figure out, but I refuse to schlep boxes around anymore. And I have since you've already been published with us, I have a question for you after today, if you have 5 minutes after.
I do.
Okay, perfect. Because we're coming up with some new stuff that I want to ask you about. So
Sure.
yeah. So let's work on this. Let's workshop it real quick. So Kelly, you've got the regulating with the Chihuahuas. Which of those ideas did you like? And let's nail it down so when you walk away from this, you've got something you can do.
Yeah, I do think I'd like to make a website, and I've thought about that before too, because as part of my job, but to make a website for self-regulation tools for parents,
Okay.
kids. I already do a bunch of coloring pages and things like that, little quizzes and fun facts, but I could easily incorporate that into a website.
Okay. But the trick on the book is that you want to take what you've already created, repurpose it so they can sign up for free for emails. If you've already
Mhm.
got stuff that you've done,
Yes.
we can talk about repurposing that to
Yep.
as a lead gen for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sherry, which ideas did you
Yes.
like today?
Well, I think the additional things that could go along with your story. I've already kind of thought I love puppets, and I've already thought of a sheep puppet that was dressed in a tutu.
Would it be kind of
So
like on a piece of like a paper that they could download and print onto their computer and cut it out and color it and make it, or what?
it could be, or it could be a stuffed animal that has dance clothes that you can put on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you do that would give them your email address? They would give you their email address. What can you come up with? Or what are some thoughts you have?
Well, the book is actually about um, trusting the Lord as you're following Him, that the things that you're doing are really the dance. You don't have to contrive it yourself. He is there orchestrating steps. And that's really what the book is about. So
There's a lot for parents there.
there's a lot for parents or grandparents. It's just,
Grandparents.
You could do like a
And-
parent study guide,
yes.
how to incorporate that with your children, or just one thing a week that they could work on with their kid in that area. Would
Yeah,
that work?
yeah, it would. Or just also in your own life, here are scripture promises about walking with the Lord and what that looks like, and that you don't have to be afraid that you've messed up or that you're not doing it right. So my book is really about the world's ideas of how to solve the problem and the Lord's ideas of how to solve a problem.
Okay.
So in my book, there's a sheep that wants to dance. So she goes through all kinds of ways, figuring out how she can do it. And then the shepherd comes in and sits by her and says, no, that's not really how it goes. This is what you're doing. And this is how it is. So
Okay, I think that parent resource guide would be another one. And
Mhm.
just know that if you guys don't have it ready in time or whatever, the easiest thing to do also, so that you've got one right out of the gate for children's, is easy. Coloring pages.
color sheets, yeah.
My
Mhm.
team can do that, not a problem.
Okay.
But, you know, if you want to add to that and create some more, because you never know what's going to stick. What are people going to sign up for? You kind of need to play around with it and see what are they gravitating towards. And that's where that straight line doesn't come into play. You kind of have to feel it out as you go.
My website is, I'm a watercolor artist.
Okay.
And so my website is art. During COVID, the Lord had me have watercolor paintings of flowers up on Facebook with scripture verses about hope.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
the scripture was wound into the paintings. So people had to look for it. And I actually had people that I knew that would stop me and say, okay, I've looked, I don't see exactly what it is. I said, yeah, it's
Oh,
there.
how
You better look
fun.
a little harder. So,
Oh, how cute. That would be
you
fun.
know, like finding the hidden truth. Where's the hidden truth?
I
Yes.
love that.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I think we're set with what you can work on. I just want to make sure it's real practical. Irene, what do you like to work on this time?
Me, I would like to work on my email contacts because I have been kind of ignoring my emails
Okay,
and just writing them and just making sure I do that at least once a month because I haven't.
yeah,
And
at least,
at least, and then,
yeah,
work up to once a week. And then
okay.
that's what I'm going to be working on.
I
And
love your idea of the songs though. I think songs are so catchy, and I feel like who you are with that really cool flow that you've got in the books is very much lends itself to that. Like I feel like it's all tied together. You know what I mean? Like it's a bundle. It's like what can we put on this yarn that matches? You know what I mean? And I feel like the
Mhm.
YouTube, the flow of the book, the songs, like it all makes sense and it all goes together.
yeah,
Like who you are. And I feel
thank
like
you.
coming up and having fun with the songs and even bringing your husband into it would be really unique and fun.
Yeah, well, that's what we're definitely planning on doing because
Good,
he's
good.
been practicing and we
That's fun.
we joined Sean Kennel's video ranking
Oh,
academy,
he's got a good
which
one.
is really
Fantastic.
good. So we're learning all the ins and outs and affiliate marketing like you suggested when
Yeah.
I talked to you privately of that, to get into
love
that.
I
But you
love
need
that.
so many subs with that, so I need
I love
that
that.
first.
I
Yeah.
love it. And can I just say, I love how far you've come. You are just such a different person. I just like you've come out of your shell, and it's so much fun to see you on this journey and how far you've come. So
It's great.
It's been a great journey. And
all
you're really gonna love Square Tree, everyone.
right. Well, we love having you
That's-
guys all. I'm trying to make it really simple for you guys and actionable. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you next, as my teacher part coming out. It's like, here's the one thing that I'm giving you for homework. It's the one thing you need to go work on. So do
Yep.
you guys have any questions at all?
So I assume that, before you start worrying about lead gens, that you need to actually have your book published. I mean,
It goes hand in hand.
it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If for you, if there's two options right now for you, it would either be joining the children's cohort,
Mm-hmm.
or if you think you're done and ready to go. A lot of people think they're ready to go, but they're really not. So you might even want to do even 1 month in the cohort just to make sure you short it up.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be the preliminary manuscript review. So I can actually put that as well in here. So let me,
Like steps, really first steps.
that is the first step. After
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
done, shoring it up in the cohorts. When you
Mhm.
think you're ready to go, then it would be the preliminary manuscript review, which would be,
The cohorts are amazing. I mean, I thought my book was done. And then I joined cohorts, and it's like iron sharpens iron. It was like, your book is good. I love it. They all loved it. Everybody was in tears reading my book. And then it was just like, but let's tweak this just a little bit. And the final product, when everybody just kind of helped each other for all of our books, was just, the final product was so polished and it was great. Cohorts, I don't know what I would do without cohorts. In fact, I had to leave my cohort group and I got a job just so I could go into cohorts afterwards. And I love it. I look forward to Wednesday afternoons. Every Wednesday, I'm still in cohorts. I'll never leave cohorts, until I stop writing, and that'll be a sad day.
but you have really now moved on, even in your cohorts where a group of you have gotten together to help each other with the marketing, right?
Yes, we have,
Which is amazing. I think that's
which we're planning on another YouTube channel.
Aw, I love it. See, all these creative ideas, like just being with a group just opens the creativity and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I think I gave you your homework, so you guys can work on that. Kelly, I know that I'm meeting with you soon, and we'll talk about more of kind of
Here's
your
Andy.
specific website and like what you're doing. And we can talk more in depth during that time. So,
Thank you.
all right, guys. So, Irene, if you could stay on, and then I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay, I will stay.